didn't care much for The Bear That Couldn't Sleep. I didn't find this to be very interesting at all. This is a 1939 MGM cartoon. It's directed by Rudolf Ising and written by Ising and Heck Allen, and it is about, as you can imagine, a bear that couldn't sleep. And in theory, it sounds like a concept that could work. We have all of these different things that is keeping the bear awake as it tries to hibernate for the winter. And we see the bear trying all of these different things to try and get to sleep. And as the cartoon goes on, things become more and more difficult for the bear and more problematic. Sounds like an interesting plot premise, but honestly, I just found that it wasn't that interesting. The style of animation, I didn't love. I didn't hate it, but there was nothing about the way it was animated that I found to be particularly interesting. So visually, it didn't capture my attention, and I felt like the narrative just wasn't that fun or quirky or unique. There was nothing about it that seemed to work. And that's not to say the things that happen are dull in and of themselves, but just as a complete package, I found that I wasn't that entertained by it at all. And honestly, for me, there's really not that much else to say about it. It's a narrative that could work, but I just feel like the pacing was a bit slow. The bear character was, there was nothing wrong with him, but I just didn't find him very interesting as an individual at all, so I wasn't necessarily emotionally invested in his ability to sleep. And I therefore wasn't that bothered about him, to be perfectly honest. Which sounds awful, I know. Yeah, I don't really recommend it unless you're doing what I'm doing and watching every single MGM cartoon. But if you're not bothered about watching every MGM cartoon or every Rudolf Ising cartoon or whatever it is that you might otherwise be doing, I have to say, The Bear That Couldn't Sleep, it's not one I recommend, and unlikely to be one I'll ever watch again.